If the police arrested you and put you in handcuffs and you end up getting injured because the cuffs were too tight, you can sue the police to recover damages for your injuries. This is known as an excessive force claim. So in other words, what you're claiming is that the police used an amount of force against you that was unreasonable given the circumstances. What these cases usually hinge on, in the sense of whether you can win these cases, is whether you put the police on notice that the cuffs were too tight. So in other words, if the police put cuffs on your hands and it causes you injury, but you don't say anything about it to the police, you're not going to stand a good chance of winning your claim. On the other hand, if the police put on the cuffs and they're too tight and you're like, man, my hands are really killing me, please loosen the cuffs, and the police ignore your pleas for them to loosen the cuffs, then you might have a very solid claim for excessive force. Now, in terms of what the payout can be for this sort of claim, it really depends on the extent of your damages. So for instance, let's say that you just have some red marks on your hands that heal after a few weeks. Realistically, you're not going to get that much money for that, even though it was certainly painful to have caused that sort of injury. I think realistically, you're going to be looking at a payout under $10,000. It's really when the handcuffs pinch nerves or in fact, cut the nerves, where you could receive very significant damages. So for instance, let's say that the cuffs were on so tight that you lost feeling in your completely throughout your arm, and let's say it took months of physical therapy to get your mobility in your arm or feeling in your arm back, or let's say that you had to undergo some sort of surgery to regain mobility or feeling in your arm. In a situation like that, you could get a significant payout from the city for that sort of excessive force through the handcuffs. If you have a claim in New York City for excessive cuffs, feel free to give me a call. We can talk about your claim and we can figure out the strengths of your claim, and we can help you get justice.